Hey guys, Ryan and Chelsea coming back to you on the ketogenic.com YouTube channel, here to talk to you about something that has been getting a lot of attention. You guys have seen Aldi bread, it's all over the place. It is keto, is it not keto? So we're gonna jump into this. We're gonna test it live here for you. We're gonna jump into some analysis of some of the ingredients, what we think of it. But before we do that, what do we gotta get them to do?
Make sure to ring the notification bell and subscribe to us because we are going to be posting a lot more videos on YouTube here. So if you want more educational content, more fun content, make sure subscribe and click that bell.
So before we get started with testing, we are going to break down the ingredients, give us a little feedback of like what we think of some of the ingredients, and then really just put it to the test. See about glucose, what happens to ketones, etc. So if you look at it, this one is the multi-grain bread. Which one do you have?
And then I have the wheat bread.
Wheat bread. So
both are advertised as 0 grams of net carbs.
That's interesting. So 0 grams of net carbs. This one has 2 grams of fat.
And this one has 1.
9 grams of carbs.
9 as well.
And 9 fiber. And then 5 grams of protein.
5 grams of protein as well.
So let's look through the ingredients and talk a little bit about the ingredients and why we're a little weary on this, even though it's getting a lot of attention in the keto space. So first is water.
Water as well.
Modified wheat starch. Is that it? So we'll bucket that one to the side, modified wheat starch. Then we have wheat protein isolate. Oat fiber, which I think we're both fans of.
Yeah.
I like oat fiber. Wheat gluten. Oh wow, chicory fiber. You guys, it's also called inulin, chicory root. You've heard me talk a lot about that before. Sunflower seeds, soybean oil. You guys know what we think about processed vegetable oils. Wheat bran, flaxseed meal, yeast, vinegar, salt, and some preservatives.
Yeah, this had the exact same thing, except it didn't have the flaxseed or the other seeds you mentioned. So
okay, so still
same.
The chicory root fiber, which isn't the worst thing out of all the ingredients. It's probably one of the better ones out of everything that's in here. But soybean oil, yeah. Soybean oil. What are your thoughts on soybean oil?
So soybean oil is highly inflammatory. It's a really cheap oil that's thrown in a lot of these processed foods, prepackaged foods that you see like this, that can cause a lot of problems, a lot of inflammation. Definitely something we want to avoid.
Yeah, something that definitely you don't want in your diet at all times. Needless to say, not when you're having bread. So the other one that throws a little bit of confusion, and a lot of confusion for us, because we like looking up research, trying to find like, hey, what's out there? But there's really nothing on this modified wheat starch, right?
Yeah, there's very little research because, well, what is modified wheat starch? The problem is it can be so many different things. The modification process can refer to any potential way that the wheat starch is either chemically or mechanically modified. So
right, and so one, we don't know the metabolic impact of it. We know the impact of like gluten. Some people that have gluten sensitivities, and you just don't need to be gluten intolerant. There's a scale of it. Some people are just lightly sensitive to gluten. If you've read like Wheat Belly and some of those other books, they talk a lot about that. But like, can you still eat this and stay in ketosis? I guess is the ultimate question.
Yeah.
Right. I think we all understand, and something that I think we can predicate before we even eat it, and even if it doesn't, I have no idea. If it doesn't spike your blood glucose or it doesn't knock us out of ketosis, it's not something we would ever recommend to consume daily, right? It's not something that you went from eating a Western diet and eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and now you're like, I'm just going to go keto and use this bread and make keto peanut butter and no jelly sandwiches or something. Like, no, it's definitely not recommended. Like Chelsea mentioned, soybean oil is highly inflammatory. Even if this wheat starch doesn't spike blood glucose levels, it probably is having some not so great effects on the gut microbiome because there is gluten and because it's wheat, right? So What do you say? Should we jump into it?
Let's go ahead, get started.
So we're all set up for testing. We're going to be looking at ketones and glucose at a variety of different time points, but one of the things that's important when testing, the reason Chelsea and I have been sitting here for the last 15, 30 minutes is to make sure we have a really solid baseline. We couldn't test and then go for a walk or run outside and then come test again. That would throw things off. Also, we're using the Precision Extra. We love to use the Keto Coach typically for ketones, but we wanted to make sure we're using the same exact meter at the same exact time for both ketones and glucose. So we're gonna make sure we wipe with a sterile pad, we wipe that off with a gauze, we prick, and then we test. So that way it's same, uniform, and the only thing that's the variable is the actual bread. So
Yep.
Here we go. Let's do it.
We're going to get started with our baseline testing. I think we're both fasted, right?
Yep, fasted.
Both fasted, so.
I don't think I got deep enough. I have to go again. I was being a wimp, and I didn't I didn't prick myself deep enough. Oh, what a wimp.
Do you?
There we go. Now we're bleeding.
Okay. A little better. 90.
Okay. I got 84. 80. Oh, we gotta do ketones too. Right. Oh no. I gotta keep this blood going.
0.3.
Oh well, 1.2. That's high. All right, so we'll see what happens. We're gonna eat. And so what were you at starting?
I was at 90 and 0.3.
90, 0.3. I was at 84 and 1.2. So let's see what happens. So here we go. We're each gonna have a slice. I'm having the multigrain. She's gonna have the wheat. Nothing on it. It's gonna be interesting to try and eat this thing, but
It feels like normal bread. The texture
it does.
is...
And like when you, this is the wheat gluten. Like
Mhm.
the reason why they keep it is because it looks like normal bread when you break it apart. So we'll see.
Let's try.
I haven't had real bread in so
I know.
long. I don't know what it means. I mean, I forget what bread tastes like.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say,
I can't
It-
tell if it tastes like normal bread.
it tastes like bread.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend eating it by itself. I feel like Kobayashi, like dip it in water and just like throw it in. Hot dog eating contest. Mm. All right, we are done. We're gonna start the timer. We're gonna look at 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 60 minutes and see what happens. We'll see.
So it has officially been 15 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and check our glucose again.
See what happens.
Moment of truth here.
This is gonna be interesting. I feel it coursing through my blood. Let's see.
So mine was 90 before. What was yours?
84.
Okay, 84 and 90. Mine went up to 96.
Oh boy. 91. So we're up 6 points in 15 minutes. You're up. Oh,
Six.
you're up 6 points in
Yep.
15 minutes. So we're both up 6 points in 15 minutes. We'll check back in another 15 minutes. All right, we are back at the 30-minute mark.
Yep.
30-minute mark. We are going to test again. Last time I was at, oh gosh, 90, and you were at 96.
Yep.
So let's see what happens. Same spot. Risky. Risky. Ah. 93. So I went up another 3 points. So we'll see. We'll check back in 30 minutes for the final 60-minute test and see what happens. All right, guys, we are back for the final testing. We are going to do glucose and ketones. Last time we didn't see a huge spike.
No.
She actually had no spike, but we're going to see at the 60-minute mark what's going on. So let's check it out. Should do like the stone cold face while I'm while I'm poking myself. Oh, I almost poked in the bad spot.
106 for me. So
Oh,
went up a
boy.
little more.
106.
And 0.3 for ketones. So no change in ketones.
Alright. I didn't get enough blood. I'm so bad at this.
I have another.
So you went to 0.3?
No, it started out at 0.3.
Oh, okay.
So no changes in ketones. Slight elevation in glucose.
You went from what to what? 90?
Started out at 90, ended at 106. Not too terrible.
I'm at 104. So I went from 84 to 104. So I went up 20 points. And let's see. I'm interested in ketones. Because I was at 1.2. I think it was 1.2. 1.2.
The thing to remember though is everything you eat is going to fluctuate your glucose a little. Like
For sure.
it's a big jump, but I'm also not super scared of it. Wouldn't 100% advocate for it if you're maybe a little bit more insulin resistant or you might see a bigger spike, but how's your ketones?
0.4.
Oh,
So, like Chelsea was saying, it's not something I think we would recommend. One, eating by yourself. Two, eating frequently or all the time. Is it something that if you're absolutely craving bread and you have no other option, you do not feel like baking it, and your only other option is to go get Wonder Bread, then get this, right? It's a better alternative. Is it something that you should consume every day? No. So, I mean, that's...
Yeah.
Any other takeaways that you would recommend?
I completely agree with what Ryan said. When it comes to trying to make keto sustainable, you don't always have to be 100% rigid and just inflexible if you're not going to stick to the diet. If this helps you stick to it and you have to have it once a week when you're craving French toast and you really want to make some French toast and don't want to cook it, or if you're really stubborn or have family members who are stubborn, then maybe utilize it in that fashion. Not, like he said, something you should eat every day, but you can be a little flexible if it'll help keep you on track.
Agreed, and probably adding something like butter or ghee or something like that would probably have minimized the glucose response. So again, I think the main takeaway is don't consume it every day. If your choice is either this or Wonder Bread, choose this. And for a sustainable keto lifestyle, if you have it occasionally, or the keto police, we won't come chasing for you. we won't come after you. You'll be fine. So I think that's a good takeaway. Right? Yeah, good. All right, guys, appreciate it. We'll do more testing. Let us know what other products you want us to test out. This is a mini inside look into how we do our ketogenic certified process, so you guys can understand. We have a 22,000 square foot lab back here that we do a lot of research and testing on a variety of different products to make sure they're certified. This is like a mini sample of that. So you let us know what other products you want to see. And until next time, we love you. Make sure you
Like, comment, subscribe, click that bell.
boom. We'll see you guys soon.